Shalom Yeladim. Now it's time to set the Yom Tov table. What are the things we're going to put on our table? They're going to be things that we don't use any other time of the year. We only use them lichvod Pesach, in honor of the holiday of Pesach. Let's see, Yeladim, what are the things that we put on our table? We put a Kaarah. A Kaarah is a Seder plate. On our Kaarah are many different foods. Some foods that we eat and some foods that we just look at to remember different things. So let's begin. Here is a bone of a kosher animal. It could be a bone from a lamb, or a bone from meat, or a bone from chicken. Why do we have a bone on our Seder plate? Not to eat. It is lezecher korban Pesach, to remember the korban Pesach. You know, Yeladim, before the Jewish people could come out of Mitzrayim, Hashem had them eat a wonderful meal. And in that meal was a roasted lamb, and that was called the korban Pesach. Later, we ate the korban Pesach when we were in the Midbar, and when we had the Beit HaMikdash. Everyone from around Eretz Yisrael came up to Yerushalayim to eat the Korban Pesach together. On the other side of our zeroah is our beitza. Beitza is a hard-boiled egg. Why do you think we have a hard-boiled egg on our Kaarah? To remind us of the Korban that the Kohen brought for all of us in honor of the Chag of Pesach. It was called the Korban Chagiga. If we would have two bones on our Seder plate, we would be confused. We wouldn't know which one is Zecher LeKorban Pesach, to remind us of the Korban Pesach, or Zecher LeKorban Chagiga, or to remind us of the Korban of the holiday. So our Chachamim, our rabbis, told us we should have a hard-boiled roasted egg on our Kaarah. But why did they choose an egg from all the foods that they could have chosen? They chose a hard-boiled egg to remind us of something very important. Every other food that we cook, if we put it in water for a really long time, the food is going to become softer and softer until it becomes a mush. We're not even going to be able to recognize what kind of food it was to begin with. The egg is the only food that when you put it in water, the longer you cook it, the harder it becomes. What does that remind us of? The Jewish people. Paro thought that he would make us work really, really hard. And the harder that he would make us work, the weaker we would become. But Hashem made a nace. The Jewish people do not become weak from the hard work. They became stronger and stronger. No matter what Paro threw our way, we didn't become weak. We became stronger. Stronger in our body and stronger in our emunah in Hashem, in our believing in Hashem. All through the years, there are many times when difficult things happen to the Jewish people. But we don't become weak. We don't just fall down. We get up. We become stronger. And that is why we use a beitza on our Seder plate. Next we have maror. Maror comes from horseradish. Maror is very strong. The minute you put it into your mouth, whoa, you feel it. That's like the bitterness, the tough times that the Jewish people had in Mitzrayim. We eat the maror to remind us what Hashem did for us, that he took us out from that bitter time. But on our Seder plate, we have another type of maror. It is called chazeret. Chazeret is a leafy vegetable that when you bite into it, it tastes a little sweet. But when you swallow it and chew it longer, it becomes more bitter. Why? What does that remind us of? Because if you remember, when Paro wanted the Jewish people to become slaves, he had a little bit of a tricky plan. He put up posters all over Mitzrayim and said, "Everyone come with me. I, the king, am going to build cities. And you, my congregants, or my people of my kingdom, you are going to come and you are going to build with me. Come along." And everybody came to build with the king. That was an honor. The king was very sweet. The king spoke very nicely. But soon enough, the next few days, the king disappeared. He went back to his palace. The Mitzrim disappeared. They went back to their homes. And the Jewish people were left, and now they had to stay. It wasn't something that was a nice thing to do. It was a thing that they must do. And from then on, the Jewish people became the slaves of Paro in Mitzrayim. That's like the Chazeret. The Chazeret starts off sweet. Paro did a trick. He started off sweet, speaking nicely. But later, it became very bitter for us. Let's look further. What do we have here? We have a potato. This is called karpas. Karpas reminds us of a few things. Number one, it reminds us of the Ona of Aviv. It is the springtime. Some people use a leafy greenery like parsley. Some people use celery. Some people use potato. Some people use radishes. All of those are which bracha, Yeladim? The bracha of right, Borei Peri Hadama. We are not going to make a bracha, Borei Peri Hadama, on maror. That is not something we enjoy eating. We don't make a bracha on something we don't enjoy eating, like we don't make a bracha on medicine. But when we make the bracha of the karpas, we have in mind that later on in our seuda, we're going to eat maror. And we have already made the bracha for eating a borei peri hadama on the maror. But what do we do with our karpas? We take it and we dip it into salt water. The salt water, have you ever cried and a little drop of your tear went all the way into your mouth? Was it sweet? Was it sour? Was it salty? Yes. The salt water that we dip our karpas into reminds us of the tears that the Bnei Yisrael cried when they were working so very hard. Now let's go to this side. What do I have here? It's something red, brown. This is charoset. Charoset is made out of apples and nuts and sometimes raisins, sometimes dates, and some wine. And we mix it all together. Just like the Jewish people, the Yehudim, had to mix up cement to make our bricks when we were in Mitzrayim. That's what charoset looks like. It looks like the bricks. We don't eat the charoset as it is. We dip the maror into the charoset. And then we make a bracha on eating the maror. It reminds us of all the slavery, all the hard times that we had when we were in Mitzrayim. So let's review. Who remembers? What is the bone called? Zeroah. Everybody together with me. Zeroah. And what is this called? The egg. Beitza. Everybody together with me. Beitza. Good job. What is the potato? Everybody together? Karpas. What is this called? Maror. And what is this called? Chazeres. Can you say that together with me? Chazeres. And what is this? This is called again, charoset. Charoset. And what is this special plate called altogether? Kaarah shel Pesach. The Seder plate of Pesach. We are going to learn about more things on our Seder plate, on our Seder table, in our next video. Shalom Yeladim.